If, like me, you love everything horology, you will have a special place in your heart for mechanicals, wind-up watches, old movement pocket watches and clocks. Some people just don't understand this. They don't understand the quality of this. Some people just don't understand, full stop. I'm not pretending I do, but the watches and clocks here that you're about to see in this video, in my opinion, they just ooze class and quality, all of them from a bygone era. You'll understand that horology is so much more than modern day quartz and those smartwatch thingies. So let's go back in time and explore the wonderful world of horology. In this video, there are 50 watches and 6 marine chronometers on show at the World Museum in Liverpool. The best part about it is that this is completely free to go and enjoy. I went approximately 1 year ago, and I've been sitting on these photographs just waiting to show someone who cares about this stuff what's there on display. As you walk into the exhibition, you'll be greeted with a large assortment of pocket watches and clocks. It's incredible to see the watches, and it's even more incredible to look at the names behind them, many of whom no longer exist. Many of the pocket watches here use what's called a verge escapement. This is where the balance wheel is spinning, whilst the verge, which is basically a vertical rod, is supporting it by holding up the balance wheel. The verge has 2 small pallets, which are essentially flaps of metal that kind of jut out of the rod, and then they in turn push the teeth of the escape wheel. This is known as the drop. This creates an impulse and it keeps the balance moving. This is known as the recoil. In this recoil, this is where that impulse, that power of that impulse is transmitted to the escapement wheel. These movements were accurate to around about 30 minutes per day. So when you consider modern movements can get around 2 seconds per day to about 35 seconds per day, it really does show just how far we've come. This is hugely important because this was the first escapement, and it really allows for time to be more accurately showed on the timepiece. I strongly suggest you go and look at how this escapement works. It really is fascinating. If you look closely enough, you'll see a very important clock manufacturer, a clock manufacturer that claims to be the oldest in the world, Joyce & Co. clockmakers. They go back to 1690. That's 333 years ago. Joyce was so well known for their quality that there are still clocks from the 1800s up and down the UK in churches, cathedrals, train stations, and that's not where it ends. Australia, India and China also imported clocks from Joyce, and they're still in use to this very day. I'll be back in future to discuss this and more in much more detail, but for now, here's a small shot of some footage I taken during my trip to the museum. Thanks for watching, and I will be back in another one.